So today we're talking about the Johari window, and Prajesh actually brought this topic up to us. I had no idea this thing existed. It's a practice. Am I right? Uh,
Yeah, it's actually a technique. Isaac, it's a technique that once we get talking to, you'll see how it's actually quite useful in everyday life as you move forward. Yeah, I guess the best way for me to introduce it is I want you, anyone out there listening, to think about when you go to a party or when you go to a social setting, whenever you go to a new environment, and there's all these new people that you're mingling with, right? You get in there, and as you walk around the room, the room or the place where you are, and you start talking to different people, you notice a couple of things as you're doing this here. Some people, the conversation flows amazingly naturally. Better, all cool, easy, even though you just met them, nice and easy. Your jokes land, you find common ground, things just seem really easy, okay? And you end up living with a new friend or new acquaintance or a new person. But in the same room here, you still walk around and you find others that you do not connect at all. It's like you're speaking a different language. You're like, what the hell is not happening? What's going on here? And you just seem to miss the mark, even though for one person the same thing worked, the other didn't work. And you go, right, cool, what is going on here? And this is basically what the essence of the Johari window is. So basically what it does is it explains why we click with some people and we don't click with others. The key with the Johari window is it comes under something called self-awareness. And as you all know, for those of you that have been listening to me for a while, my favorite quote is awareness precedes change. And once you have this awareness here, it's about understanding yourself and how it perceived. Once you grasp that, then you basically your growth is going to happen crazily. So basically, the Johari window takes the concept of a window. So if you imagine a window with a 2x2 panes, you've got corner, and you've got four parts in this pane here. You've got what we call the open area. The open area is basically the part that what is known to you and others. They're open. Everyone knows you know about it, others know about it. You have something called the blind area, which is you don't know it, but others know it. So there's things about you that you don't know about yourself, but others know. There's that facade, which is what you know, but others don't know. And then there's the most powerful one, which is the unknown area, which is you don't know it and others don't know it. So if you think about it, those four areas you define any one of us. We're either open, we're either blinded, we're either a facade, or we're either unknown. So let me give you some examples. Right, so an open area could be, let's just say, for example, Isaac, you go to the gym quite a bit, right? So this is something that you put out there. This is you. And people know about it. You know about it. I go to the gym. I do this here. Others know about it. Happy, smile. Cool, all good. But there's some. Let's just say, for example, Isaac, every day, just because you just say a word that's just part of your vocabulary. You don't know that this is something that you do all the time. So this is a blind spot, whereas others notice that all the time. And then there's a part that you know about yourself. So for example, your motivation to go to the gym is something that you keep really internally, but you don't tell others. So you know about it. And there's a part of us that all of us, we don't know what we don't know. And this is where the greatest growth happens, because what happens, we always play in the safe area of the open, the blind, and the hidden. But none of us go into the space where is the unknown. And this is where we play safe.
okay, so the unknown.
Yes.
I'd like to dive into that a little bit. So you're saying that we deal on the first three, and the fourth, the unknown, we do not as frequently.
Totally. So if you think about, so in the world of coaching, in the world that you two, both you and Dalton work in, we're all basically the open, the blind, and the hidden are safe spaces for us, because those are spaces that we know we don't know. Some, for example, the blind spot it's still known, but others know it, whereas the unknown are parts that for growth. So for example, when I first started wanting to be on podcasts and I didn't know about that. I didn't want to do that, and I was really afraid to do that there. And then something happened, and then I got growth into that space there. So the unknown space is where you try to be. You might have a gift or a talent that you're not aware of, you don't think about it, nobody knows about it, until somebody brings it into your awareness, or you bring yourself into awareness and go, actually, this is weird, there's something I can grow in.
Okay, so I guess how would people discover this unknown area more? Is it just through natural conversation, or through being
Yeah,
self-reflective?
that is a fantastic question. So basically, to get to the unknown, you first have got to really define the other areas. You've got to know your own area. So you've got to go to the open area and go, right, cool, this is the open area. This is what I know about myself, as others know about me. Okay. You then have to think about the spot that others know about you, but you don't know about yourself. And you first got to do that there before you think about yourself, before you go to the unknown area. So let me give you an example. The greatest example I can think about is when you're writing a CV, when you're writing something about yourself. We all think about stuff ourselves. We think that's normal. But if you give, say, a friend or a colleague or someone knows you well and say, hey, can you write about me? They might use things that are very, very different that you don't see about yourself and go, wow, okay, cool. This. You know, the Johari Window tool has some has this really beautiful word play that you can use. So what you do is you give someone, you say, hey, for example, Isaac, I'm going to give you my Johari Window table. Look at these are words that describe me. Can you place them in areas where you think that I might be? And because you know me really well, you'll place all these words in different places there. You'll give it to me. I'll have a look and go, wow, this is pretty crazy. I didn't realize that, because my perception of myself is very different to others' perception of me. And that's where you get the biggest change there. Then there's a part of you that you don't want to tell other people. And that's fine. That's okay. And there might be different reasons, though. There might be different reasons. Some of them is because it's just really close to you. And others can be just because of fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of whatever the fear is. And you think about that going, cool, why am I not saying this? Why am I keeping this part hidden? Once you get through those three areas there, then you can start having awareness of the stuff that you can actually grow into, the unknown area, which takes a long time to do. And the unknown area is the one that's the hardest one, because you don't know what you don't know. Which is, like you said before, you start conversation, you start talking to different people, and you go, whoa, actually, I didn't realize that I had an interest in flying kites, for example, just by conversation that happens.
You mentioned there's a practice. I think you mentioned writing it down. Do you have any, I don't know, forms or stuff that you recommend people fill out?
Right, cool. So what this is a great easy to take away practice for anyone that's listening. I'd love you to get a piece of paper, and on the piece of paper, you're going to draw quadrants, and one quadrant is going to be open, one quadrant is going to be hidden, one quadrant is going to be unknown, and one quadrant is going to be the blind spot. Okay. Then what you're going to do is, it's very easy to do this here. You just grab a lot of adjectives and words, and you get a list of, say, 100 adjectives or words, and you just go to Google and search for adjectives or words. And then you give it to your peer or a friend and say, so for example, I'll give it to you, Isaac. Isaac, you might give it to Dalton and say, hey, Dalton, looking at these adjectives and words, where would you place them now that you know me? So you might, for example, say, hey, I think Isaac is pretty friendly. I think motivated. So that will go into the open and open. Or you might go, hey, Isaac, you always wear a black t-shirt. And you're like, what are you talking about? And this is pretty crazy. And it's going to go into the blind spot because you're not aware of it. And the stuff that's hidden, that's going to be empty because they don't know anything about you. So that should be hidden. And the unknown part is going to be like what they think you could be in. So once you do that, then your practice is going to come to play. And this is really crazy. I'll talk about a crazy story. Johari Window came into my life a few years ago. But when I was teaching, and when you teach at the end of the year, your students give you, all these crazy gifts. And one student drew a picture of me, which is pretty amazing. And then they drew me wearing an Adidas top. And I wasn't aware that I wore the same top every single day when I was teaching. It was not something that I had a conscious awareness of, but they saw it as a conscious awareness because they see that every day. So sometimes you do things that you don't even think about, but others are seeing it all the time. And that's where you have that blind spot that you don't see.
It's almost like you just take all those words, plug it into ChatGPT, You're like, yeah, what does this tell me about myself? I like that. So I'm curious though, like once you get all those words in the 4 quadrants, or it'd be 3, right? Because you don't have to know.
That's right.
How do you analyze that? Where do you go about making an assumption?
Awesome. So once you have those words, once you have those words in front of you, what the Johari Window then helps you do is, it's really awesome when you're working in a team setting as well. So if you're working in a team setting, working with others, you go, hey, wait, I'm not going to get along with everybody. So let's just say the whole team does it. Let's say you have a whole team exercise and you do it as a team exercise. This is great for team building as well. And you go into a team, say, meeting room or whatever, and you put up everyone's Johari Window. You can actually go, hey, wait a minute, I didn't know this about Isaac or Dalton, and this is why we don't get along. It's not that we don't get along, it's just we're very, very different people. That's cool. And once you have that awareness, it doesn't become awkward and go, oh, I can't talk to that person because it's actually, wait a minute, we're very different people. Happy days. You might be someone that's just brutally honest and brutally just upfront all the time, and someone can't handle that there. And it's not because you are trying to be mean, it's just your nature. This is who you are as a person. So that's the beauty of the Johari window. It just allows you to do that there, but also allows you to do lots of introspection for yourself. When I do my coaching with my clients, one of the first things that I get them to do is the Johari window. I think that's because sometimes with people, we try to achieve some stuff, but that stuff is never ever going to be achieved because they haven't aligned themselves to the right thing. They haven't aligned themselves because they're trying to live someone else's out. For example, they're trying to live, as like you might say to me, Darkness, hey, you should do this here. And it never works. It doesn't work. And it's not because I haven't tried. It's just because that's not my thing. And if I draw the thing, it doesn't work for me. So this is my stuff with Johari Window is a good way to go. It's a tool that's used by a lot of psychologists, a lot of physiologists out there. It's super simple. That's why.
Have you found like a difference between trying this like when you first meet someone versus trying it after you've known someone for a while? Is there a dramatical difference?
What a fantastic question, because first impressions, right? First impressions are what lasts
Right.
sometimes, right? And as you say, as you get to know somebody, those impressions are going to change a little bit. And then if you say, if I did this window with the two of you when I first met you, say, I think was it 3 years ago, or almost 3 years ago, if I did it then versus what now, it'll be very, very different. So there's going to be growth and change, hopefully. But if there's no growth and change, then something's not right. There has to be change, right? There has to be change. It's a great way for you to help self-awareness. It could be something you do every 6 months with a peer. You make, okay, cool. So the two of you make it cool on the 1st of April, we're going to do this for each other, and we're going to see in 6 months' time, is there any change? And the change doesn't have to be good or bad if there's any change in the way the relationship is or the way you see each other.
Do you find this practice helpful within families?
What a fantastic question. I think this is so good because, as we all know, families are lovely. Families are, you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends, right? This is what the saying is, right? So, and sometimes friends become family, but that's a whole different world altogether. But with families, there's this perception that everybody knows everybody, but actually we don't know everybody. And sometimes in different cultures, people hide stuff because they're afraid of they're afraid of whatever it is. But if there's an open dialogue about, hey, this is who I am, and this is the way we work, the whole family structure could work. But first of all, to get people to be honest in that space is pretty hard, So which is why, I always say I can't coach someone that I really know really well in that space there, because it's always it's emotion that get involved. And with the Johari window, you have to take away emotion and just go, hey, this is just this pure objectivity.
So you have to take away the possibility that you may offend someone when doing this.
Exactly. And also the recipient, right? So it's all about the recipient, because you might say stuff out of the honest truth of your heart, but go, cool, I'm doing this because you asked me about this year. I'm going to say, hey, Prajesh, I find you a bit upfront, way too upfront. And I might go, wow, what are you saying? So it's about the recipient. So it has to be a dialogue that, hey, whatever I'm saying here is just no emotion, it is just facts from my perception, which is hard sometimes, right? Which is easier when it's a stranger.
So you kind of have to go at it from a perspective of, I want to be better and I want to know myself more, rather than
Right.
This might be fun to try, because you're probably going to get upset.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm just like imagining how this could go terribly wrong. But also I'm seeing like how this could go very well as well. Have you experienced like situations where the blind area, like specifically in the blind area, interactions with others, how they've influenced you or how you've influenced others, and what kind of, because I would imagine that would be like the most controversial, frustrating area.
Yeah, the blindness is probably the one that's going to hit home the most, because that's the part where others see you and you don't see yourself. So if I go back to my example where I had this Adidas top every day, I was like, that's like, what are you talking about? I wear other clothes all the time. This is really offensive. Then I was like, actually, wait a minute. I do only wear that the whole time. So it made me more worth that there. Or also when I tell my talks 2 years ago, I kept on using the words, hey team, hey team, hey team. I didn't think about that there. And then when someone wrote some feedback, and like, he keeps using the word "hey team" all the time. Hey team. I was like, oh, I did not even think about it, because it's just so subconsciously in my rhetoric at that time. So I'd been more aware. So again, it all comes down to how you perceive whatever that feedback is. And again, you have to have a trusted person, trusted people that can say that to you, not people that just want to tear you down and say, "Oh, Talton, we just think that you blah blah all the time. What are you talking about? This is not true." And it's not always bad things. It could be also good things as well, right? It could be things that you're not aware of all the time, you know. So, for example, I've had people go out and do this as an exercise, and they come back and they get so blown away by the fact that they feel that they have so low self-esteem and low confidence. But when they get the comments back from the people they've given it to, they go, "Oh, you come across as a confident person. You come across as this," and this just shifts them totally, because it's just like, well, actually, I might feel like this internally, but externally, I'm seen as a whole different person.
We got the open area, the blind area, the facade area, and
Yep.
the unknown area.
That's right.
What's like, I guess maybe you could do this with all of them. And so like the blind area, when we're working in that, like one of the key things in our mindset, if we're doing it and we're doing it as a team or as a group, what would be like three of the top things that is like, okay, this is what your mindset has to be able to get the best benefit of doing the Johari window as like you progress. So like obviously you'll start in the open, maybe go to the blind and the facade and then the unknown.
Yep.
What would be like, can you like summarize like three like simple words that like would put us in a mindset? I don't know if that's doable or it's however you would.
I think the three words that awareness precedes change. Those three words there. When you become aware of that, then it's going to become change. And I'm going to talk about the blind area really quickly, because the blind area, as you said, Dalton, before, is the one that could cause the most. What's going on? So there's three things to remember with the blind area. Okay, the blind area is the one where the most growth will happen for you. But the important thing is to approach this with curiosity and not defensive. So you have to be curious and not defend everything. So there's three reasons why there'll be a blind spot. Number one, the relationship that you have is pretty new or shallow, right? So the person that you're talking to doesn't know who you are, but this is a great opportunity for you to share more about yourself and learn about how they've perceived you. Okay, the simple act of just discussing the values can create a better alignment. That's the first one. Number two, your desired identity doesn't align with your behavior. So what this means, if you think about people, it means people perceive us based on our behaviors. Whatever we do, they're based on our behaviors, right? So if you ask for feedback on your specific behaviors and the things that you're doing, that's going to help you with your feedback. And the third one, which is which is the one I spoke about being the most constructive one, is you have strengths which others see but you're not aware of. And this is where you go, right? Cool. These are my strengths, and how can I grow them and amplify them? So basically, the blind spot is where you just grow. You just grow as a person. Whereas the open area is you just telling people who you are. This is you just being open, and you're just going to go, "Hey, do I feel comfortable sharing who I am with other people? This is who I am. This is where your growth happens." Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Therefore, it's like curiosity, growth, self-awareness.
Yeah.
And I like the one that you said is strength, because I guess it's not. When I first looked at this, I was like, oh man, this could really like stir a pot. But no, yeah, the blind area. I didn't think about strengths. That's interesting. Things I don't know that maybe people could point out, and it could be encouraging. So
Yeah, and if you preempt the conversation by going, "Hey, this is a strength growing exercise. I want to grow myself as a person. Whatever you say, I want you to give it to me in a positive way. In a positive." And you could actually, the other trick is you just go to Google and you just search for positive adjectives, and you just want to look at the positive growth and go, "Right, cool," and you can preempt and just give you positive, so you can give people the words, and they can go to it. Your unknown area won't have any words, because they want to know who you are. They should be blank. If someone puts some stuff in the unknown area, they're lying to you, because there should be nothing in the unknown. Should be blank, because they don't know, you don't know.
I like the hidden strengths one, because like I feel like there's a lot of times where you may not know you're really good at something because you've always just had talent for it, where it's like it just comes easy to you, but other people, it's difficult for them. And so whenever someone brings that to light, where it's like you're actually pretty good at that, and you're like, wait, no, I just do this normally. This is this is just me. And they're like, well, you're good at this. And then maybe that's something you should lean into, right?
100%. Sometimes, there's a saying that out there that you should try and strengthen your weakest area. Whatever your weakest part is, practice that there, but have a different mindset. Actually, yeah, that's cool. But sometimes your strengths, we forget it, we neglect our strengths. So if someone says to you, hey, this is your strengths, Isaac, as you said, you can lean into it. And why do we have this philosophy in life that, hey, you need to go practice in your weakest area, blah, 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 blah. But it's weak for a particular reason, whatever reason you might not be interested in, it might, might not be physically able, whatever it is. But then you've always got a strength that counterbalances that there. So if you work on your strengths get stronger, and you get better in the space there.
If you were to walk someone through this process just from start to finish,
yeah,
could we just recap that and just walk through it for people watching this so that they could maybe put into practice themselves or even reach out to you with more questions?
The best way to do this is for you to contact people that you know. And an easy thing could be a text message. It could be an email, whatever you write an letter if you want to. But basically you look out, hey, for example, if I was going to talk to you, Isaac, I'll be, hey, Isaac, I'm basically trying to do a bit of a self-awareness exercise. And what I'm trying to do at this point in time is I want to develop the core skills of listening, active listening and thinking about myself. And one of these is self-awareness. But self-awareness, I can't actually do it unless I know about myself and others. And one of the cool things that I'm going to be doing is something called the Johari Window. What the Johari Window does, it helps increase my awareness of how others perceive me compared to how I perceive myself. So what I'm going to do, Isaac, is I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you a list of adjectives, and I just want you to pick 5 adjectives in the list below and think about how they describe who I am. So then what's going to happen? You can do that there, 5 lists, and then you are going to put those into the different paths that you think that you are at. So these are all going to come into probably the, depending on what they come back with. So for example, let's just say we give them a list and they come back with the words like, hey, Isaac, you're like a brave person, you're a clever person, you're dependable, and you are friendly. When you get those words there, you're going to go, okay, cool. Which one of these is everything that everyone knows? You might go, cool, everyone, I know that I'm brave, everyone knows I'm brave, and put that out there. And then they might come back with they'll have the word clever. You go, I never thought I was clever. Oh, that's interesting. That can be a blind spot, right? And then there could be the word, say, extroverted that comes across. And like, wait a minute, how do they know that about me? I'm going to put that in my hidden spot there. All right, so does that make sense? So you give them the words and then you define which part of the boxes you put them in.
Okay. And so after you get that feedback, what do you do with that?
That's great. Once you have that feedback, so now you're going to see, so what this is one person, you could do it to lots of people and you choose different words from lots of people, then you'll have all this feedback and then you're going to look at it and go, like, sure, my open. So for example, let's just say you give all this feedback out and you just get one word in open. Yeah, cool. Nobody actually knows who I am. This is not what I want to be, right? Well, you might go, hey, this is pretty cool. Nobody knows who I am. Okay, whichever kind of person you are. And you might go, well, I actually want them to know who I am. This is why I'm not making new friends. I'm not connecting with people because I'm just so sheltered. I know nothing. I'm going to change that. Or you might go, cool, I give out way too much information. I'm going to come back a bit more people sheltered. Okay. The blind spot is the one where you're going to go, right, cool, depending on what those words are, you're going to lean into those strengths there. And then the hidden part, which is your words really for yourself, and you go, cool, do I want this stuff to be hidden or do I want out there? And then you just shift those around. And then the unknown should always be blank until you just the unknown is a space for you to have growth. That's where you have growth and you think about, okay, cool, I'm doing all this stuff here, but is there more that I could be doing? And then you lean into other people and go, all right, cool. For example, I leaned into you about the whole visual stuff. I never did that in my life before. I never thought, and then you were doing it. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool to do. So I linked to that there, and then discovered I actually enjoyed it. And so that's an example, a rough example of how that would work. I'm not good at it, but I started enjoying it because that was an unknown space. I didn't know it existed. I had no idea it existed. But by falling into your space, or you fall into my space, the harmony, now exists. So which is why, like I said before at the start, having conversations, reading broadly, doing all those things that are not just clearly defined, is going to take you to places that you don't know. A nice analogy I like to use, and this is going to sound terrible, but it's like going to a wine shop, for example. When you go into a wine shop and you buy the same bottle of wine all the time, This is it. Open up, that. And whenever you walk in, the person is there, gives you the same bottle of wine. And then one day there's a new person in the shop and they say to you, hey, why don't you try, say, a Pinot Noir? You're like, I've never had a Pinot Noir in my life before. What are you talking about? Unknown. You then take it home and you go, oh, actually, this is really cool. I really enjoy this. And then boom, it changes from unknown and goes to a different place there. So you don't know what you don't know. I use a bottle of wine as an analogy because wine is really subjective. And this could be with chocolate, it could be with fruit, it could be with a movie style. I've never watched it. You didn't watch the horror in your life, all right, cool, let's watch a horror. Yeah, they're going to like it or not. So you can take any aspect of your life with this particular genres and yourself picks the particular genre that if someone says try this one here, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. I like that. So it's kind of like you could do this practice frequently then.
You could do this in any aspect of your life. So for example, I've just used like communication. You could put in anything. You could just take it to watching movies. You could take it to listening to reading books. You can listen to podcasts, looking at your social media, whichever way. Yeah. And
So
again, sorry.
No, I was just saying, so you could use it in any area to just kind of analyze the area better and learn more about it.
100%. So, you can use it for self-development, or you can use it in different spaces. You can even use it if you're creating a business and go, cool, in this business, you can use Johari Window for a business. Okay, cool, in my business, what is open, what is hidden, what is blind.
Wow. I like that. That's really cool.
I'm learning.
Have you ever used this particular the Johari window to perhaps how do I word this? Resolve a conflicting relationship between people?
Awesome. So I do some coaching. I do some corporate coaching, and in corporate coaching, I do some work with people in teams. And Isaac, you brought the word family before, but sometimes if we take that into the working world, teams become your family as well because you spend a lot of time in your working space, as we know, right? So the Johari window is a fantastic exercise so for example, let's just say the two of us in the team, I would give you the words, Dalton, and you'd give me the words for myself. And then we take those words and go, hey, are you aware that Dalton saw you like, so say Isaac is the coach. Isaac would give it to the two of us and say, hey, Dalton, you did Prajesh, and Prajesh, you did Dalton. Okay, off you go with the Johari window. You then come together and go, look at how different this is. You think this here and you think this here, and you go, wow, I'm seeing two different people here. But you had no idea. I had no idea that you saw me like this here, and I saw you like this here. And using that, you can go, actually, wait a minute. This is where the conflict is caused by not understanding each other because we're two very, very different people. It's nothing personal. It's just the way we are as human beings. But that can also be used then to go, right, cool, hey, wait, there's some things here that are very similar here. You guys both seem to enjoy, you can choose the words particularly as well. You might go, right, cool, let's rethink about this, not use adjectives, let's use things like, what do you enjoy doing? What do you like about work? Oh, at work, I really enjoy working with detailed projects. And we've been a team, and I've been given a role of working on the big oversight stuff, and you're doing all the detailed stuff. So we're going to clash because even though I'm doing the oversight stuff, the detailed stuff is what I really enjoy doing. So, those sort of things, like we said before, like Isaac said before, you can use it in so many different ways, and you can use the words very cleverly to define how you want to use the Johari window.
Sounds like this should be used in dating.
You said it, yep.
After the third or fourth date, you must use the Johari window.
Yeah, that was so good, right? And what I'd love people to do is to give us a go, give us a crack. And if you want to work with me and think about how that actually works, feel free to drop me a message. There's other different tools we can use as well, but the Johari window is a great start into self-awareness. And I'm going to say this again, awareness precedes change. And when you do that, massive change happens in your world, whatever that part is.